Imagine standing at the brink of annihilation, where an entire people face a decree of death, and all hope seems lost. Yet, in the shadows of an ancient empire, a young woman named Esther rises a figure whose courage and wisdom would change the course of history forever. The story of Esther is not just about faith or destiny. It raises profound questions about the forces behind survival. Was it merely chance, divine intervention, or an intricate web of political maneuvering that saved the Jewish people in Persia? Today, we dive deep into this timeless narrative, exploring how Esther's remarkable story might be understood through the lens of geopolitics, strategy, and perhaps something beyond human comprehension. Is it a miracle or a masterstroke of timing and circumstance? Join me as we unravel this mystery. To truly understand Esther's story, we must first grasp the vast and complex world of the Persian Empire in the 5th century BCE. At its peak, the empire was a colossal entity, stretching from India to Egypt, ruled by King Xerxes, known as Assuero in the biblical narrative. This empire was a mosaic of diverse peoples, cultures, and religions, governed through a delicate balance of power, allegiance, and political intrigue. Within this sprawling empire, the Jewish people, exiled from their homeland after the Babylonian conquest, trying to maintain their identity and traditions amidst foreign domination. The threat to the Jewish community was not spontaneous. It was rooted in both political tensions and personal vendettas. Haman, the king's chief advisor, harbored deep resentment toward Mordecai, a Jewish leader who refused to bow to him. This personal grudge escalated into a broader genocidal plan to annihilate all Jews within the empire. Haman manipulated King Xerxes into issuing a royal decree, setting a date for the systematic destruction of an entire people. The decree was absolute and terrifying, an imperial command that threatened to erase an entire culture. However, in the midst of this crisis, a seemingly ordinary young Jewish woman named Esther had become queen, though her heritage was unknown to the king. Esther's position placed her uniquely at the crossroads of fate and power. While the decree spelled doom for her people, her presence in the royal court planted a seed of hope that would soon grow into a daring plan to overturn the king's fatal decision. This chapter sets the stage for a story where personal courage collides with the harsh realities of empire politics. The impending disaster faced by the Jews in Persia was not just about survival, but about the complex interplay between identity, power, and destiny in one of history's greatest empires. What appeared to be a decree of death was also a spark that ignited a profound transformation, a testament to how even in the darkest moments, the course of history can pivot on the actions of a few courageous individuals. As the grim decree echoed throughout the Persian Empire, sealing the fate of the Jewish people, hope seemed like a fragile thread ready to snap. Yet, within the walls of the royal palace, a powerful alliance was quietly forming between Esther, the queen hidden behind a veil of secrecy, and her loyal cousin Mordecai, a steadfast guardian of their people's legacy. This chapter reveals the beginning of a resistance that would blend faith, strategy, and courage in a race against time. Mordecai was no ordinary man. He was a leader respected and trusted among the Jewish exiles. When he uncovered Haman's plot to annihilate their entire community, his reaction was immediate and unwavering. He refused to bow to Haman's arrogance, an act that sealed his fate as an enemy in the eyes of the advisor. But more importantly, Mordecai understood the gravity of the threat. He knew that survival depended not only on courage, but on subtle, calculated moves behind palace doors. His hope rested in Esther. Although she had kept her Jewish identity a secret since becoming queen, Mordecai urged her to reveal herself and intervene with King Xerxes. The risk was immense. Approaching the king uninvited was punishable by death, unless the king extended his golden scepter in mercy. Yet Mordecai's conviction was clear. Who knows whether you have not come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Esther's decision to act required a profound internal struggle. It meant risking everything: her position, her life, and the fragile peace she had found. But in those 3 days of fasting and prayer she called upon her people, there was a shared moment of unity, resilience, and divine appeal. The communal fast was not merely a religious act. It was a declaration of collective strength and determination. This phase of quiet resistance highlights how hope can take root in secrecy and preparation. It was a delicate balance between invisibility and boldness, between survival instinct and self-sacrifice. Esther's preparation was more than physical. It was a psychological and spiritual readiness to confront one of the greatest challenges of her life. At this critical juncture, the story shifts from impending doom to a carefully orchestrated plan of action. It shows that miracles may be intertwined with human agency, where faith fuels courage and strategy gives it shape. The resistance was no longer silent. It was about to confront the throne, challenging the very decree meant to erase an entire people. The moment Esther stepped into the throne room, the tension was palpable. Every step she took was weighed with the knowledge that one misstep could lead to her death. Approaching King Xerxes uninvited was an act of sheer bravery and strategic calculation. But Esther's mission was clear. She was not seeking personal salvation, but the deliverance of her entire people. This chapter delves into how her courage and diplomatic skill transformed the course of history, illustrating the profound power embedded in words and timing. Esther's approach was not impulsive. It was a masterclass in political acumen. Instead of confronting the king immediately with demands or accusations, she invited him into a banquet, a gesture laden with symbolism and subtlety. By crafting a scenario that put the king in a position of favor and curiosity, she gained the necessary audience to reveal her true identity and the peril facing her people. At the banquet, Esther carefully laid out the stakes. A revelation that she was Jewish shocked the court, turning a personal narrative into a political crisis. Haman's carefully woven plan unraveled as the king realized he had been manipulated by his advisor's hatred. This exposure was not a simple act of confession. It was a strategic dismantling of Haman's power base. King Xerxes, moved by Esther's plea and angered by the deception, reversed the decree. He authorized the Jewish people to defend themselves and decreed the punishment of Haman, which culminated in his execution. This decisive action demonstrates the delicate balance of royal power, the influence of trusted advisors, and the pivotal role of Esther's intervention. Her words carried weight because they were spoken at the right moment and in the right way, harnessing the full force of the king's authority. Beyond the dramatic courtroom intrigue, this chapter reveals a deeper truth. Survival in the ancient world was often a game of alliances, timing, and influence. Esther's victory was not a miraculous occurrence divorced from reality, but a calculated use of the political system to turn a fatal decree into a deliverance. The story underscores how diplomacy and intelligence can alter destinies, especially when wielded by those who dare to speak truth to power. By the end of this turning point, the story of the Jewish people in Persia had transformed from impending genocide to hope. The power of a single voice, combined with courage and strategy, had shifted the empire's fate, a testament to how human agency and political maneuvering intertwine in history as most pivotal moments. At the heart of Esther's story lies an intricate dance between fate and human agency, a delicate web woven from the threads of personal ambition, imperial politics, and what many call divine intervention. This chapter peels back the layers of this interplay to analyze how the so-called miracle may actually represent a perfect storm of geopolitical factors and timely decisions. The Persian Empire was an immense and fragile entity, constantly juggling threats from within and outside its borders. King Xerxes' authority depended on maintaining stability among a mosaic of peoples with diverse loyalties. Haman's proposal to exterminate the Jews can be seen not merely as personal hatred, but as a political gambit to neutralize a group perceived as potentially disruptive or disloyal within the empire's complex hierarchy. Esther's emergence as queen, an event that might appear coincidental, takes on new meaning when viewed through the geopolitical lens. Her ascent was the result of a royal selection process that reflected the empire's vastness and diversity, and her Jewish heritage gave her a unique vantage point within the Persian power structure. The convergence of her identity, Mordecai's influence, and the unfolding political crisis created a situation where the reversal of the genocidal decree became possible. This chapter also explores the concept of divine timing or synchronicity moments, when seemingly unrelated events align to produce extraordinary outcomes. Was Esther's courage divinely inspired, or was it the natural outcome of her personal strength and political savvy? Was the king's change of heart a spiritual miracle or a practical decision to prevent internal instability? The truth may lie somewhere in between, in the nuanced intersection of human decision-making and the mysterious flow of fate. Ultimately, the story of Esther challenges us to reconsider how we interpret historical miracles. It suggests that what appears supernatural might often be the product of keen political awareness, strategic alliances, and the precise alignment of circumstances. This perspective enriches our understanding of history as a tapestry woven by both human hands and unseen forces. The story of Esther transcends the boundaries of its ancient setting to become a timeless emblem of courage, identity, and the relentless fight against oppression. It is a narrative that reverberates not only within Jewish tradition, but across cultures and epochs, inspiring those who face threats to their very existence. This chapter examines how Esther's legacy continues to echo through history, and how her example speaks profoundly to the challenges and hopes of our modern world. For the Jewish people, Esther's triumph is immortalized in the joyous festival of Purim, celebrated with feasts, prayers, and storytelling that honor deliverance against impossible odds. Yet, beyond ritual remembrance, Purim serves as a living reminder of resilience, a testament to the power of solidarity when faced with existential threats. It is a communal celebration of survival, not merely through divine intervention, but through calculated bravery, unity, and unwavering faith. The resonance of Esther's story stretches far beyond religious identity. In today's global landscape, countless communities face persecution, marginalization, and attempts at cultural or physical erasure that eerily mirror the dangers confronted in ancient Persia. Whether in the form of ethnic cleansing, political repression, or social exclusion, the echoes of Esther's fight against annihilation are felt worldwide. Her story offers a beacon of hope and a blueprint for resistance, demonstrating that courage, strategic action, and unity can confront even the most formidable threats. Esther's legacy also challenges modern leaders, activists, and everyday individuals to reflect on the balance between diplomacy and direct action. Her use of soft power words spoken with wisdom and timing showcases the immense potential of influence that does not rely solely on force or overt confrontation. In an era rife with conflict and polarization, her example encouraged the pursuit of dialogue, the building of alliances, and the subtle art of persuasion as essential tools in the struggle for justice and survival. Moreover, Esther's story confronts us with profound questions about identity and belonging. Living as a hidden Jew within a dominant culture, she navigated complex layers of loyalty, secrecy, and self-preservation. This experience resonates deeply in contemporary discussions about diaspora, assimilation, and cultural survival in environments often hostile to difference. Her courage to reveal her true self at a critical moment inspires those who wrestle with similar dilemmas today. In a broader sense, Esther's narrative invites reflection on the nature of power and resistance. It teaches that true strength often lies in unexpected places, in the quiet dignity of the marginalized, the strategic mind of the overlooked, and the moral authority wielded by those who dare to stand for justice. Her story reminds us that history can be changed not only by kings and armies, but by individuals who act with courage, faith, and wisdom at the precise moment when destiny hangs in the balance. As societies around the world confront rising tides of intolerance, division, and violence, Esther's example remains profoundly relevant. It is a call to vigilance and action, a testament that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit can prevail. Her legacy endures as a symbol of hope, inspiring new generations to stand firm, speak boldly, and believe in the power of justice to overcome oppression. As we reach the conclusion of Esther's extraordinary tale, we are left confronting one of the most profound questions in history. How much of this story lies within human understanding, and how much transcends it? The events surrounding Esther's rise and the salvation of her people straddle the boundary between the tangible and the mysterious, inviting us to reflect on the limits of our comprehension and the nature of destiny itself. Throughout the narrative, we have seen how courage, strategy, and political savvy played pivotal roles in turning the tide against certain destruction. Yet, woven through these human actions is an undeniable sense of timing so precise, a confluence of events so perfectly aligned, that many regard it as nothing short of miraculous. Was this mere coincidence, or does it reveal a deeper order, a guiding hand in the unfolding of history? The ambiguity is part of what gives the story its enduring power. For some, Esther's story affirms the presence of divine providence, a reassurance that higher forces watch over human affairs, intervening at critical moments to protect the vulnerable. For others, it highlights the astonishing capacity of human beings to shape their own fate through wisdom, courage, and resilience. Perhaps it is a delicate balance of both, where divine mystery and human agency intersect in ways that challenge our ability to distinguish one from the other. This duality reflects a universal tension in how we interpret history and experience life. It reminds us that not all phenomena can be neatly explained by logic or politics alone. Some moments defy full explanation, urging humility in the face of complexity and an openness to wonder. Moreover, Esther's story invites us to consider the broader human condition, our struggle to find meaning in adversity, our yearning for justice, and our hope for deliverance amid uncertainty. It teaches us that history is not merely a sequence of events, but a living narrative shaped by both visible and invisible forces, by actions and intentions seen and unseen. As we ponder the mystery of Esther's miracle, we are challenged to embrace both faith and reason, to recognize the limits of what we can know, and to remain open to what may lie beyond. Her story stands as a testament to the power of hope in the unknown and the courage to act even when the path ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. In the end, Esther's legacy is a mirror reflecting the complexity of existence itself, a story of survival, faith, and transformation that continues to inspire, perplex, and uplift. It is a call to courage, a whisper of the divine, and a reminder that some mysteries endure precisely because they transcend our grasp, inviting us to keep seeking, questioning, and believing.